Good morning, everyone. We are going to do a review today of the Century Machinery 5-ton log splitter. It is a electric unit that, as you will see from the specifications right here, says it runs on 120 volt, requires 12 amps. Will take up to a 20.5-inch log with 10-inch diameter, and has a ram travel of 17 inches. What you're looking at here is the box that it came in and a picture of the thing on front. It's not a real big unit. It does weigh, the box says 48.5 kilograms. It is pretty heavy. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about this. We just purchased this from Harbor Freight in Bangor, Maine, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what we think of it, how it works. Alright, what I'm showing you right here is our wood pile. We had a friend of ours who's a woodcutter, brought us 4-cord of hardwood, green, and it's all tree length. We bought this because, well, we're Mainers, we're thrifty, or cheap, in other words, and we like trying to do things as cheap as we possibly can. So I was able to buy this 4-cord for $560 delivered, and this is what I got. I'm showing it to you to kind of give you an idea of what we're looking at for the size and type of wood that we're going to be splitting with this small wood splitter, electric wood splitter. And it's not bad. I mean, there's some knots in it. There's some of what you would expect. I'm not real excited about that piece of beech. That is going to be brutal. But most of it is either maple, some birch mixed in, a little bit of ash, all fairly reasonable in size, so we can handle it. I started out with my splitting maul, and that was what I was doing, cutting it, splitting it, and the wife decided she wanted to assist, so she wasn't interested in swinging the splitting maul and said we need a wood splitter. So I called up my local rental place, and they've told me that I was looking at $70 a day for a rental of a wood splitter. And I figure if I was lucky, I got a good 4-day project. So I'm looking at almost $300 in splitter rentals. And I really don't want to tack that cost onto my wood for the winter. So as you can see, this is fairly small. We're splitting it fairly small. And the reason that we're doing that is we are purchasing and installing this year a Morso squirrel stove. It's called the squirrel stove because of the imprint that they put on the side of it, which is a squirrel. And it takes 12-inch sticks. So we're working with pretty short wood, and that will be beneficial for the type of wood splitter that we've purchased. So I'm sawing the wood. And if I have a piece that's fairly big, as you can see in this pile that I'm getting ready for my wife over here to work on splitting, if it's okay size like this, maybe the 10-inch they say, I leave it. If it's bigger than that, I'm splitting it. Or if I see a knot in it or something, I've been splitting some of it in the unit out so you can see it. Too low to the ground to actually work on the ground itself. You need to be able to get it up off the ground if you're going to have a good work height. So we have the tailgate of a truck here, and that's what we've set the unit on to work with. So I'll get the unit out, and I will show you the unit and talk to you a little bit about that. Okay, here we are. I got the wood splitter out. It's on the back of the truck. I'm just going to go through a little brief explanation of what we got here. When we got this, it came out of the box exactly like this, all put together, which was awesome. The only thing, this handle was in a bag, and this is the actual handle that moves your plate up here, and that was in a bag. You just screw it on, along with an Allen wrench that allows you to do some work on this thing if you need to. So I'll screw that back on. And what you're going to notice, a couple things. I'll start at the back. This plate doesn't seem to have a purpose until you realize it lines up with these tires. You can actually take this entire unit and stand it up. That's good for working on it, and it's also good for storing it. So you can store it in a really tiny place. This is going to be your ram up here, and this down here underneath is your motor. This assembly right here, this is your on-off button. And then these are some pins that just help you hold the wood. This is your wedge. As you can see, it's about a maybe 5 or 6 inch tall wedge. Fairly good V, so it does its job. These arms slide as the hydraulics work in it. And then up front has a little handle so you can pull it around. And again, you can see this is up on a tailgate. Without being on a tailgate, it's pretty low to the ground. You have to have it up on something. That's one limitation. This thing here, just as a little side note, I won't get into the operation manual much on this thing. It does come with an operation manual. This you have to turn clockwise on numerous turns to open up a pressure valve so that the pressure doesn't build up in the hydraulic ram. And then when you're done using it, they say when you're going to store it or you're done, you just turn it tight, close it up. So that's the unit in essence. Now I want to talk briefly about a couple of things I found the minute I unloaded it. First thing, got an extension cord, ran it over to the house, plugged it in. It's got the typical ground, a three-prong grounded plug. Plugged it into the house, plugged it into the unit, turned it on, and as you can see right through the front of that housing right there, you can see the aperture in there. It started to turn but wouldn't move. And I tried a couple times, it wouldn't move, and then nothing. So I went inside, sure enough, tripped my breaker. So when you read the manual, it does talk about having a designated circuit for this. If you're going to buy this unit, you need to make sure it is going to be able to be powered by your circuit, or you have a circuit you can designate. I opted not to mess around with the electrical panel, but instead to just simply bring out my generator. So you may or you may not have a generator. If you do, great, you'll be all set. This happens to be a Power Stroke that we bought from Home Depot, which is 7,500 watts. And over on the side, I have two 120 volt, 20 amp circuits. So more than enough power. We ran it all day yesterday, and it worked fine. And as you can see, it has been used. We did use it for a day. My plan is to show you updates as we work through the 4-cord and show you how this thing works over the course of a week or so, whatever it takes us to get through this. Alright, so I'm going to finish up my review here. I'm actually standing right in front of the pole barn that I built. You can actually check out my other video to show you how to build this pole barn. It is full of all of the split wood that we split with our Harbor Freight electric wood splitter. Some of it's over here to the side. It actually had so much wood, couldn't get it all to fit. So we split the entire 4-cord, all except for a little bit of the round stuff over there that I don't think I'm going to need this year. So I wanted to finish up the review, let you know how this thing did. You know, as I've said, we priced out renting a wood splitter for $75 a day. We paid under $300 for this unit. So we're currently at November 14th. So here I am, and we've got months worth of work out of this thing. We split almost the entire 4-cord, and when you start to figure out the cost of renting a wood splitter at $75 a day, it doesn't take long to say that this thing paid for itself several times over. It split everything we asked it to do except for stuff that was really large, had a lot of knots or some Ys in it. Some of that stuff I could not split with it. It is only 5 ton, so you have to recognize that limitation. But we can't really complain. I would definitely buy this thing again. It ran well. The only issue I can think of that we had that I haven't got on camera already was the little bolts right here actually loosened up on one of the fins. Not a problem. There was an Allen wrench supplied with the unit. We tightened it right back up again, so you may want to check that if you get started on it. But overall, I would definitely recommend purchasing one of these things. It is small, it does have its limitations, but for the money spent, this thing has definitely done everything we asked it to do, and everything I do with it next year is money in the bank. So that's my review for the Harbor Freight electric wood splitter.